Well, good evening. It's Kevin McCallum from All About the Rock, and I'm absolutely delighted to be talking to another side of the Atlantic. We've got Phil Lewis from LA Guns. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing good, Kevin. Thanks for having me. How are you, mate?
Absolute pleasure. It's been absolutely raining from the minute I opened my eyes this morning, and it's still belting down yet. So it's a typical Scottish weather.
That sounds about right. That's why I left.
A good reason, yeah. So thanks for taking the time. I know you're a busy guy. We'll talk as we go on, but so we're coming through a COVID and lockdown, and you guys have managed to pull together your 14th album.
Yeah, well, thank God we did, because you know, that lockdown, it didn't sit well with me. I was, you know, I've been touring, I've been out playing gigs since I was a teenager. So you know, all of a sudden, not to have that in my life, a big part of my life, I just didn't know what to do with myself. So it was great to have this record to focus on. You know, I be honest with you, you know, my equipment that I recorded it at home, all the vocals at home, and I didn't use anything fancy. It's just a basic Dell laptop, an entry level Focusrite 2-channel interface, and then a decent condenser mic. Nothing fancy, no brand name, no Neumann or Stenhauser, just, you know, a decent large diaphragm mic. And it was so good to have this album, this music to immerse myself into, and not get flipped out about being stuck at home and you know, not making any money and not, you know, not knowing. And it's like no spring chicken. It's like, how many more years have I got? You know, it's like, come on. Let me get back. So it was very cathartic. It was good therapy for me, just to immerse myself in the recording and the music and putting it together. And I think I really actually would have gone nuts if I hadn't had this record to work on, have it as a distraction. And Let You Down was the first song that we wrote on the record, and we wrote that one and we recorded that one a good year before we finished the last song, before we handed it in March.
Okay.
So the process took about a year. It was once we heard what we could do remotely, how, because Let You Down, it's got a great atmosphere. It's got sonically, it's good. Drums sound good, and it was a kind of a proof of concept that we could do this remotely, and we could make it sound good. And it was after that song and the overwhelming response that we got from that song that it gave us confidence. You know, it put some wind in our sails. Yeah, we can do this. And it was a nice, interesting journey. It's like a solo journey in ways. Like, you know, like sailing across the Atlantic by yourself, solo. It was like that, you know, because studios are so traditionally, you know, it's all about the studio. A band gets together, writes some songs. We go in the studio. We record the songs, and we're all together doing it. We're tweaking it, changing stuff along the way. So by the time you record a song, you've done it 100 times. I've never sung Cannonball. I've only done Let You Down right, and that was weird. It's just really weird having a finished album of songs that I've never sung live.
It's like
a new experience. We're doing about 4 from it. I'll be going in to rehearse with them, and I've no doubt that, you know, they'll sound great, and I can do it because I've done it here recording. It's just a strange ass backwards way of going about things nowadays, but we made it work, and I didn't hate it. and I might not ever have to go back in the studio again. So I've got the setup I want going here, and it sounds good. And it definitely helped with a very difficult year.
Yeah, and I think that there's many bands that have done exactly as yourselves, that you've had to find a different way of doing things, and using the internet and sending emails with attachments, with files, and pulling it all together.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. You know, it was a bit of a learning curve for me to, you know, like use the big file transfer, the Dropboxes and like that, you know. In the old days, I just, you know, they'd send me a song and I just play it over the phone, or the speaker of the phone, into one channel of my mixer, and take it from there. So yeah, I had a bit of catching up to do. But you know, I enjoyed that, and I had good guidance. You know, we were Zooming a lot. Well, you know, I'd Mitch or Tracy, you know, if I was specifically working on something. So you know, it was available, but for the most part, it was a solitary thing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a good example. You said I Let You Down. When I think about LA Guns and I think of the Renegades album, You Can't Walk Away, that's a great ballad song. And then going back to Cocked and Loaded, right to the Ballad of Jane, which is one of my favourite songs. And you're thinking that was 33 years ago or so, or 32 years ago. And there you guys have come up with a great couple of ballads, Let You Down, and If It's Over Now. On your new album, you've got a recipe that you always bring in a couple of good ballads into every release that you've done. And I'm glad that you mentioned Let You Down there, because that's a great song.
Great song, isn't it? Yeah, it's got that ballady vibe to it. It's what I like about it is it's just got that atmospheric guitar at the beginning, and you're like, wait, it catches your attention. It's like, what's this? And it goes on, and it goes, you know, longer than your traditional guitar intros. And normally it'd be jangly, you know, for 2 bars, but it's not. It's bars, ding dong dong. It's just like, what's going on here? And then when the verse kicks in and the first beat, it's like, you know, it's like a drop. It's such a drop that it's you know what I mean, like a techno drop.
Yeah.
When the start of the song, it reminds me. It's just all of a sudden like, bah!
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And then we've got like another one deeper in the album, which we just made a video for, Get Along.
Yeah.
And when I first heard that, it made me think of Led Zeppelin.
Absolutely.
You know, the Zeppelin, like Led Zeppelin 3, like Hangman, Gallows Pole, around that. And, you know, I almost could hear, like, you know, Sandy Denny coming in and singing the chorus with me.
Walking across the stage in her bare feet type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, and Tracy, it sounds like there's mandolin in it. It isn't. It's just a 12-string played high up the neck. But it's just got such great atmosphere to it. And we've never done that before. I mean, people say, but, you know, well, Ballad of Jane's kind of country. But this is more folk than country. You know, Ballad of Jane is definitely country. There's no question. It's got that whole thing to it.
I like it.
Very folky, you know, like Lindisfarne or Fairport Convention or something, you know. And then when he kicks in with the electric solo in the middle, it's like, fuck, it's just too good.
And it brings you right back to the sort of LA Guns sound as well.
Yeah.
It takes you a road. You think it's Led Zeppelin you're listening to, and then it brings you right back in.
You know, an acoustic guitar solo. And we do a version. We got a bonus track where we didn't use that big gorgeous lead solo, and he just does noodle along. But wow, no, nothing sounds as good as that. It's just when it's another drop, you know, it's just like you're going along and then boom, it's like, wow, the song just keeps getting better.
So you've got the ballads, you've got some you're sort of doffing your cap to Led Zepp, but you're bringing your own style in it, and then you've got a song that I would sort of class as it's a real heads down and praise the Lord song, Better Than You. It's right It's real heavy power.
Yeah, yeah. Down, 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 down.
Yeah.
I'm much better than that. Roman candle, you're off the handle. Yeah, that verse is a little bit, it's got a bit of an Oasis vibe to it.
Aye.
In the way it sits, the way the vocal sits in the verse. That occurred to me while I was doing it, but once the it's good that you brought that track up because there are so many good ones in there that I overlook. People tend to talk about the singles a lot, but yeah, that is that's a phenomenal track. And when I heard the music to it, I knew how powerful and how driving it is. And yeah, good call on that one. Thank you.
Aye, good man. I get it. That's a great song, and you can feel right through the album. I've listened to many LA Guns albums over the year. I've got 2 or 3, and you can feel the chemistry between you and Tracy, definitely. In particular.
Oh, definitely, yeah. We're Cain and Abel. We're brothers. So we're soul brothers. We're both only children. We both, we don't got no brothers, no sisters. Strange, dysfunctional families. So we've both got that in common, and that's I think that's a big part of our bonding.
Aye, that's definitely. So I mean, I think the other thing.
I love the guy. I don't always like him.
It's okay. We're only going to put this on the internet. He'll never see it. Don't worry. So I think when I listened to the last couple of albums that you did, like The Missing Piece and The Devil You Know, and then Renegades, and then this one, you've kind of the Devil You Know didn't really sit in that sort of LA Guns genre. It seemed a bit. It just seemed different. And I think this album, you've maybe moved it back to the sort of Missing Piece type style. I don't know if that is that something that it's just me that's picked it up, or
you mentioned Renegade.
Yeah.
That's not us.
All right.
There's a version called Steve Riley's LA Guns.
All right. Apologies.
And the old drummer,
right,
has put his version together. And there was a little confusion because when that record came out, that Renegades record came out, it was called LA Guns.
Aye.
And that's bullshit. So we had to straighten that out.
Good.
So FYI, yeah, and that's not us. That's Steve Riley's LA Guns. I don't know. I haven't really heard much on it. I think I may have heard like one of the songs, but it was a pain to deal with, but it's sorted out. It's called We're LA Guns. That's something else. So wish him all the best. No.
Yeah, get that.
No bad feelings, no hard feelings, and this week we got that sorted out. But just one of these things with this business that it's not just about waltzing into the Whiskey a Go-Go with a chick on the charm, with a roadie carrying a couple of guitars behind you.
It's a bit different.
A bit more involved in that. Well, it's two, as far as I'm concerned, when we're talking about us, there's LA Guns Mark 1, the cat misbehaving, Sex Action, and all the Electric Gypsy, Never Enough, and then there's the Mark II, which is post reunion, The Missing, and we just moved on musically. We developed our skills and our appreciation and our just different things. There's no way we were gonna try and write a song like I'm a sex gun lover in the heat of the night. No. Don't run for cover, I got you in my sight. No, we could. That would be embarrassing to see a 60-year-old guy doing that. No, it's. I feel, that we've reached a point. We're like a fine wine, an acquired taste now.
Yeah. But matures with age. Matures with age as well.
Yeah, that's right. It certainly has. It's matured, and I like the way it's matured. It never got stale. It never got boring.
Great stuff. So the lineup on the Checkered Pass recording, Phil. Could you just run us through the lineup then?
Well, yeah, okay, here we go. So it's Tracy, over in Denmark, putting the songs together. We've got Johnny Martin playing bass in LA and Hollywood. We've got Ace Van Johnson in Nashville playing guitar. And then there's the issue with the drummer. And the big news is that, like 3 weeks ago, our touring drummer, Scott Coogan, decided to leave the band. And the reason he's leaving is because he didn't play on the record. Adam Hamilton did. Adam compiled and produced it. So Adam is a producer, and he's got a recording set up. He's got drums set up. He knows the music. He was receiving files with drum machines on them from Tracy. So it was just a no-brainer that he would play drums because he's such an excellent drummer, and he did a really, really good job on it. So consequently, Scott Coogan has decided he'd rather not come out and tour a record that he didn't play a single note on. We have to understand and respect that. He's got other stuff. He plays with Ace Frehley, plays with Stephen Pearcy, so it's no hard feelings at all.
Sure.
A little bit sad to see him go, and I would love to have him played on the record because he's a great drummer. And he's a great singer, and so unfortunately a casualty of this record. But I'm glad to say that we've got Shane back, who played on the first two and played on Missing Piece and Devil You Know, going to help us out until we get the right person. And as far as replacements go, I can't think of a better one.
Yeah.
Love Shane. He's great on the road. He's just an easy guy to be around, and I'm so fond of him from the first reunion record that it'd be great to have him back.
Sure.
He left because he got the deal of a lifetime. He got the offer. Kanye West basically uses him as his personal recording engineer. So anytime Kanye wants to put something down, it's like, get the studio ready, I'm coming in. And what a gig. And but Shane's agreed to help us out until we find someone. And I've got to say, even Kanye's been very fair, because he's up for start letting us have Shane, and second, he's offering facility for us to rehearse. So he's offering his warehouse. Get down. You can be such an asshole. Look at
There you go.
Thinks it's a panther.
Just
great gig he got there with Kanye, and Kanye's actually been cool letting us use his facilities. So it's a small world.
It's a small world, but so you're talking about touring. I know you've got some dates planned in the US pretty soon, really. I think, haven't you? You touring? You got some dates next month or so?
Yeah, we got when the record drops, we got some local shows in the LA area. We got a couple of shows in Vegas. That's a venue we play called Vamp, and we do 2 nights there. Right. We do 2 nights consecutively, and then on New Year's Eve we'll play the Whiskey on Sunset.
Excellent.
And that's kind of like traditional for us. We didn't do it last year because of the pandemic. But yeah, it'll be good to get back there. So yeah, half a dozen shows. to promote the record, let people know that we're back. You feel, you know, we haven't played in so long.
Yeah.
Since we've done a gig. So, you know, I didn't want to, you know, start with a world tour or, you know, have to do shows in Russia or something crazy logistically. Just local stuff, easing into it. And next year we've got Monsters of Rock Cruise. That's the annual. Comes out, does that every year. I think Alice Cooper's headlining this one. And then we've got a tour being put together now. Dates are coming in with Tom Kiefer from Cinderella, of Cinderella. That's, you know, you don't know Tom Kiefer, I don't know. You shouldn't be watching this show. So Tom, LA Guns and Faster Pussycat. That's going to be a good, fun summer bill. That's going to be going around the States. And those will come in for Europe and UK. We had some really good stuff, you know, like some HRH stuff that we were booked to headline in England. We were going to do that Ibiza thing, you know, we're going to headline that. I mean, it was gutting, you know. We were going to play Wacken, that got cancelled, you know, just to see it all go down so quickly right in front of your eyes. And it's just like, you know, I hope we get through this. I hope we've got to get through it, and I hope we don't have to ever go back to that. That was really bleak, you know. People standing in line outside supermarkets with masks on. It was like something from a science fiction movie. We've got news now, but hopefully if things are back to normal, we can't wait to get back to normal. And they're opening up the travel now between England and States now in November. Fingers crossed, see how it goes.
Yeah, and do you find that a lot of the venues now across the States are beginning to open up again? Like they are here,
lots of, you know, fans are going out. They're playing, you know, the you know, Vince Neil and Slaughters and Warrants and, you know, all those guys are doing it. Kiss went out and rather stupidly went out and played a stadium tour. It cost them a family member. I don't know why they needed to do that. It's not for the money, but yeah, I mean, it seems to be working, and hopefully it will continue to do so. Everyone get their shot. Everyone, you know, behave themselves and you know, wear masks, and we'll get through it.
Yeah, and let's hope it's once every.
I've got to go. Yeah. Got to go now, mate. It's great talking to you.
You too. And just to summarise, on the 11th of November on Frontiers Records, we'll have the new album from LA Guns, Checkered Past, 11 great songs. Get out there and buy it. On behalf of All About the Rock, many thanks for your time, Phil.
Thank you, Kevin. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Appreciate your support.
And you too, mate. All the best. Take care.
Bye-bye.